friends, welcome to the channel if you're new or if you're not. I'm Alicia and I'm so excited you're here either way. Today we are getting crazy with spaghetti. You know, I was never huge on spaghetti. I love pasta, but spaghetti was never my favorite noodle shape. For some reason, lately, all I want is spaghetti. I've pretty much been turning anything I can think of into spaghetti. And so today you are seeing my spaghetti mac and cheese, taco spaghetti casserole, and barbecue spaghetti. And we're gonna get even crazier than that by turning each one into grilled cheese. Wait, what? Don't worry about it. First up,
spaghetti mac and cheese. What a delicious treat.
it starts with getting your noodles cooked to your liking. You can use any spaghetti noodles you like, regular, wheat, gluten-free. I am using chickpea spaghetti here, not sponsored, just to show you that you can. It adds a nice bit of protein too, but do what works for you. The mac starts with a roux, the most delicious way to get a creamy, satisfying mac, and it's less work than you might think. Simply melt butter in a large pot, add flour, gluten-free is fine if needed, and heat that for 1 to 2 minutes before whisking in milk and salt and pep. Remove those lumps as best you can. That gets cooked over medium-high until bubbly and thickened, only 5 to 6 minutes. Next, stir in the cheese. I used a mix of sharp yellow cheddar, sharp white cheddar, and Gruyere, but whatever suits your fancy works fine. Whisk until it's melted and smooth and then remove from the heat. Your drained spaghetti noodles can get added to that cheese sauce and coat completely. Yum. Of course, this is totally edible and delicious as is, but I like a mac baked. So I transfer the mixture to a casserole or glass baking dish, add some additional cheese on top along with Parmesan, and it gets baked until golden brown. Tip: this spaghetti casserole and the next one can both be frozen before they're baked. And that is the kind of meal prep that the evolved me is talking about. Whoa, are you kidding me? I have tried mac and cheese with like every noodle. I'm talking elbows, penne, shells, rotini. What are the other pasta noodles?
Garganelli?
Well, I've tried most of the regular ones from the shelf on the store, but not spaghetti. The noodle almost makes the cheese sauce better. It coats the noodle completely, and I love the texture of biting into a bunch of small noodles with a thick and creamy cheese sauce. Oh my gosh. So this is fun, interesting, delicious. What is not to like, and is it possible to make it better? So as I've been going spaghetti crazy, I've been thinking, what makes anything better? Bread, turning it into a sandwich. Just because it's YouTube and it's too fun to not, how about we
Grilled cheese-ifying that spaghetti.
Yep, mac and cheese, spaghetti, grilled cheese. So don't leave just yet, I promise it's worth it. I used brioche bread for this one because it is my ultimate grilled cheese choice. It's soft, it's white, it grills up beautifully. So when filling your grilled cheese with spaghetti, I think that's a sentence I've never said before. Anyway, not just mac and cheese spaghetti, but any spaghetti, it is essential to add more cheese. Now, this is not just for deliciousness, although of course, that's a plus. It's also going to help glue your spaghetti to the bread. Otherwise, it's gonna fall apart. Now, I paired some American and Swiss cheese slices with this mac and cheese spaghetti, placing some on each slice of bread before filling with the mac and cheese spaghetti. Now, my tip for any grilled cheese, not just spaghetti version, is to melt the butter first and brush that onto the bread slices. It coats it completely and consistently. Then that sandwich can get added to the hot grill pan until brown and crispy, remembering too to brush the butter on the other side before flipping. Oh, and don't forget the diagonal slice. Are we all on the same page that every sandwich should be cut diagonally, by the way? I mean, let me know in the comments if you're on the same page or if you prefer a straight cut sandwich. I actually recently read the diagonal cut is superior and it's backed by science. Okay, holy moly, it gets better. The natural sweetness of the brioche bread paired with the savory mac and cheese is like heaven in my mouth, but the spaghetti noodles add even more comfort and textural fun. This is comfort food to the max. Literally, our filming crew said this sandwich is one of the best things we have ever eaten, ever. Now, before anyone emails me later to ask, did you actually eat that? This happens. Yes, I ate as much as I wanted while I was enjoying it. Now, a few years ago, I couldn't have eaten this without being really, really anxious or completely falling into a binge. But Since healing my relationship with food, I'm able now to listen to my body and not deprive it. So I can find balance based on what resonates with my body and my heart and my mind, my inner wisdom, regardless of anyone else. So I can use chickpea pasta if I want to make mac and cheese spaghetti, and I can still choose to turn it into a grilled cheese with white bread. It makes it possible for me to have fun with food again rather than solely viewing food as fuel or indulging as a sin. So I'm much happier this way, and I encourage you to do what feels right for you. Okay, let's continue with this.
Taco spaghetti, that's the spaghetti that I want to eat.
Again, cook your pasta to your liking. If you are baking a casserole with pasta, I always cook the pasta a little bit less than al dente, especially chickpea pasta because it's gonna cook more in the oven. 2 minutes less is great, usually a bit firm. For these taco bits, first I cook onion in some oil for a few minutes before adding ground meat of choice and cooking that thoroughly and completely. Now I've shared this before, but I start out by browning larger blocks of meat. I think it really adds so much flavor rather than breaking it all up to begin with. Also, I have been eating less and less meat as time goes on, and I want to remind you that we don't need to follow an all or nothing approach. So instead of a full pound of meat, feel free to try a half pound. I am getting extra protein from the chickpea pasta after all. You are totally allowed to make this stuff up as you go. Then add taco seasoning, and I also added beans, which are optional, tomatoes and green chilies, along with some Mexican blend cheese. But really, this is the time to add your favorite toppings and filling ingredients. The drained spaghetti gets mixed in with that meat mixture. And then transferred to a casserole dish and covered with more Mexican blend cheese. This gets baked until the cheese begins to brown, and there you go, a taco flavored spaghetti. It's fun and tasty. It actually tastes more taco-y than spaghetti-y. It's like taco flavors enveloping the spaghetti noodles, but with all the comfort and coziness of spaghetti pasta. And not to mention, it's super easy to throw together on a weeknight. But wait, we still have to
Grilled cheese-ify that spaghetti.
For this one, I am using a heartier and more wholesome whole wheat and seed bread. I used Colby Jack and Monterey slices of cheese, and in goes the taco spaghetti. This gets brushed down with butter and grilled. I will say, this bread is easier to manage because it's quite large and sturdy, so it grills really well, it flips easily, and it tastes great toasted with butter. Oh my gosh, I actually was worried that this one was gonna lose some of its taco-ness when grilled cheese-ifying it, but it didn't happen. It retains the taco goodness, and actually, the Colby and Monterey Jack might even enhance it. Totally a win and totally recommended for food freedom fun. We're finishing off today with a
BBQ Spaghetti.
I am making a homemade barbecue sauce that is super easy and flavorful. It's simply ketchup, and I used this True Made Foods ketchup, not sponsored. It has no added sugar, and it's actually sweetened with apple, butternut squash, and carrots, which is really cool. It's quite a good ketchup substitute, but it also works great in homemade barbecue sauce. I also need water, apple cider vinegar, coconut or brown sugar to taste. I use about half of what most recipes recommend. Lemon juice, Worcestershire, brown sauce, ground mustard, pepper, and onion powder mixed in a saucepan. Bring to a boil, turn down to a simmer, and allow to sit uncovered for about 10 minutes. This is a great staple for homemade sauces, separate from this spaghetti recipe. I am fine with a less sweet barbecue sauce, but the beautiful thing about making your own is you are in control, not only of the ingredients, but the level of sweetness. So you do you. For the full dish, I am sauteing some onions and bell peppers in oil first. And then I'm adding in some pulled pork. Now I made this in the slow cooker, which I've showed before. It's just salt and pepper with the pork butt low and slow for 9 hours, and it pulls apart beautifully every time. And then adding that barbecue sauce. You could of course use a store-bought sauce if preferred, and that all gets simmered together for about 10 minutes and then tossed with the cooked pasta. This one I chose not to turn into a casserole. It's really delicious as is without being baked. Barbecue sauce and spaghetti may seem like an odd pairing, but it actually tastes like it should be a thing. Pulled pork and spaghetti is also a nice textural combo, and overall, the subtle sweetness with the vinegar of the homemade barbecue sauce, that savory pulled pork, and the al dente pasta noodles, it is meant to be. But you know what time it is though, right? Let's
Grilled cheese-ify that spaghetti.
For this one, I have decided to make grilled cheese even more fun with a hamburger bun. These cheese pairings were pepper jack and yellow cheddar, and then loaded up with that spaghetti. That gets grilled on both sides with the brushed butter, and then of course, devoured. A burger bun makes this sandwich even more fun, like a classic barbecue sandwich kicked up a notch with extra carb goodness of pasta in between the bread. This is a carb-filled meal, all of these are, so they're offering a lot of energy, but remember, there's also protein in the pork in this one and in the noodles that I used, which were chickpea-based. Neato! I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know which of these was your favorite. Remember that all of my recipes are easily modifiable to suit your lifestyle, and they are linked in the description box below. I encourage you to do what's right for you, and I want you to feel inspired to make these recipes your own. Have fun with food. Enjoy your healthy lifestyle however you choose to go about it, and don't worry about what the heck anyone else is doing. You do you. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you will subscribe and hit the bell. I hope you'll share this video with someone or with social media if you enjoyed it. I will be back next week with a brand new episode, and remember, it's all a matter of mind over munch.